all so much for joining our YLab training for today. So again, this is just a really good way to learn more about what it's going to be like to be a YLab mentor, set some expectations for the year, and just kind of help you all know what to expect going into the process. So before we truly get started, we want to do a round of introductions for everyone. So we are going to do a popcorn format, if we can. So we'll start with our team. We'll popcorn it and introduce ourselves, where we'll say our name, pronouns, where we're from, the last song we listened to, and something you are excited for this year. And then we'll go with YLab. And Elizabeth, I'll let you start.
All right. So I'm Elizabeth. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Winston-Salem, and I love Winston. And I am, I guess, with both cohorts. And then the last song I listened to, I'm kind of a freak. I don't listen to a lot of music. I know. I'm more a podcast person. But I was just at Disney World with my mom for her birthday. And so I listened to like a ton of Disney music that they were playing in the park. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. And then something I'm excited for this year is I'm really like for is this question more general, Mackenzie? I forgot to ask, or is it specific to
It's whatever it feels right. So it can be about launch, it can be about the school year, it can be about something that's coming up. We're flexible.
yeah. So I am really excited to I mean just to get to know our new launch scholars, meet them and spend time with them and really further develop kind of the YLab mentorship program so that you guys can have deeper connections with the scholars as well. And I'll pass it to Sydney.
Hi, everyone. My name is Sydney. I'm the operations coordinator for the pre-college programs. Um, my pronouns are she, her. I'm originally from Richmond, Virginia, but I live in Winston-Salem. Um, the last song I listened to was Love Bug by the Jonas Brothers because I'm going to a Jonas Brothers concert in October. Um, and what is one thing that I'm excited for? I'm excited to get to know our new scholars as well as you all at YLab. There were so many people in the cohort last year, so I don't feel like I met every single one of you. So I'm excited to meet the new students as well as you all as well. I'll go with Mackenzie next.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Mackenzie Wilkins. I use she, her pronouns. My, I'm from Charlotte. So I love both of our cohorts. I'm really excited to get to know everyone, but I do live in Charlotte, so there's that. The last song I listened to, it is called Vacay by Amine. He's like the smaller artist. And then something I'm excited for this year. I think one of my favorite things about launch, as well as like getting to know the scholars, is getting to know YLab a little bit more. We get so little time with you all since we are always so busy. And I think that when we get to work with you in this format, I get to know you all so much better, which I appreciate. And you're always such a great help. So I think I'm already feeling very grateful for the help that I'm sure everyone is going to be able to provide this year. So I'm excited to get started and get the year moving, and see what type of great things and wonderful impact we can make as a team. I'm going to popcorn it to the first person I see in our little photo. So that's going to be you, Emmanuel.
Hello, everyone. My preferred name is Emmanuel. My pronouns are he, him. I'm from Gastonia, but I'm in the Charlotte cohort. The last song that I think I heard was we had a football game yesterday, and at the beginning or like the end, they always play "Bring 'Em Out" by T.I. and Jay-Z. So that's the last song that I heard. I'm just really excited to work with the new incoming students, like Elizabeth said, and really, I'm just glad to like be able to help and mentor them, if that makes sense. And let's see. So I got to pass it to somebody, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so just the one on the far right, I'm gonna go with Juan. Juan, is that how you pronounce it? Okay.
Hey guys, my name's Juan. My pronouns are he, him, and my hometown is in a different country, Venezuela, and my current cohort is Winston-Salem. The last song I listened to, it's White Ferrari by Frank Ocean. And the thing that I'm most excited about this year is definitely like about to happen in a month, which is college admissions and seeing where I get accepted to or not. So I think that's the most exciting part. And obviously excited to meet the new scholars and see what's gonna happen this year. I'm gonna pass it. I know exactly who I'm gonna pass it to Julio. Um, if you wanna go ahead.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Julio. My pronouns are he, him. I was also born in Venezuela like Juan. Um, and then I moved here to Winston-Salem when I was 11. My cohort is still Winston-Salem. The last song I listened to, I believe was Sparks by Coldplay. Um, and something I'm very excited about is, just I'm just gonna copy Juan because I was gonna say that and he also said it. So I'm excited about seeing where I'm gonna get in college and see where I'm gonna go. Yeah. I'm gonna pass it to I don't know, just Justin. Say something.
Hello, my name is Justin. My pronouns are he, him. My original hometown is Charlotte. So I'm still a part of the Charlotte cohort. The last song I listened to is probably X Factor by Lauryn Hill. And then something that I'm excited about for this year, just similar to what other people said, but also just being able to work with the new cohort for this coming program year. And then also in general, I'm really looking forward to Christmas time as well, this fall and winter. I will pass it to Eleanor.
Hi everyone. I'm Eleanor. Um, my preferred pronouns are she, her. I'm from Cornelius, so I'm from the Charlotte cohort. I don't really know what the last song I listened to was, but I'm sure it was like 90s rock or something. And then I'm really excited about like everyone's saying, applying to colleges and seeing where I get into. Okay, I'll move it on to Kennedy.
Hi, my name is Kennedy. My pronouns are she, her. My hometown and my current cohort is Charlotte. And I think the last song I listened to was No Air by Jordan Sparks. And something I'm really excited for this year is just seeing how my senior year plays out and meeting all of the launch scholars. I think I'm gonna move it on to Danielle.
Sorry, guys, my phone doesn't want to work. I'm Danielle, and my preferred pronouns are she, her. And the last song I listened to was probably The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, I think. And I'm excited about having a bunch of new experiences this year for my senior year and moving on and learning where I'm going to go to college, as everyone else has said so far. And yeah, I'm going to pass it on to Madison.
Hi guys, I'm Madison. My preferred pronouns are she, her. My hometown, I'm actually from Charlotte, but I'm in the Winston-Salem cohort. And then the last song that I listened to was Frank Ocean, and it was Pink and White. And then something that I'm excited for this year. I play volleyball, so I'm going a couple visits in the next couple weeks, so I'm excited about that. And then also meeting all of the new members and stuff like that, because I was once there. The next person I'll pass it to is, I hope I say it right, Nadia.
Oh well, I was on mute this whole time. Sorry if you could hear me. Hi, I'm Indea. I'm originally from Monroe, North Carolina, but I'm in the Charlotte cohort. Um, my pronouns are she, her. The last song I listened to was Just the Way You Are by Billy Joel. And something I'm very excited for this year definitely has to be the fall. I love the fall, so I'm glad that was our opening question and seeing the seasons change. And I'm also really excited just like to meet all you guys and like build bonds, even if you are in Winston, like I feel like we'll all like be friends. So I'm excited. And I'm gonna pass it to L'Oreal.
Hello. Hello, my name is L'Oreal. I'm from Jersey, but I live in Kernersville. So I'm in the Winston-Salem cohort. My pronouns are she, her, and I think the last song I listened to was Never Mind This Interlude by Bryson Tiller. Um, and I'm excited for like the YPAR projects and helping them with that. And also, like most people said, figuring out like what colleges I've gotten into or have been and just move forward with that journey as well. Who's next? I think Shivani.
Hi, I'm Shivani. My preferred pronouns are she, her, and my hometown is Charlotte, and my current cohort is the Charlotte one. The last song I listened to is Burn from the Hamilton soundtracks. My friends and I are going to see it tonight. And I'm just excited to meet everyone this year and like see what senior year has to bring. And I'll pass it along to Alexis.
Hey guys, my name's Alexis. My pronouns are she, her. I'm from Wilkesboro and I'm in the Winston-Salem cohort. The last song I listened to, I think it was Miss Call by Treaty Oak. And I'm excited for the college applications and acceptances. I'll pass it on to Akil S.
Okay. Hi, my name is Akil. My pronouns are he, him. I live in Charlotte and I'm in the Charlotte cohort. The last song I listened to is probably K-pop by Travis Scott. And I'm excited to be done with the college process and to stop having to stress about where I'm going. And I'll give it to the other Akil.
My name's Akil. My preferred pronouns are he, him. I was born in Washington, D.C., but I moved to like Fort Mill, South Carolina, so I'm in the Charlotte cohort. The last song I listened to was Cold Girls by Lil Tecca. And something I'm excited for this year is just to kind of get senior year over with and meet the new people coming into the program. And I'll pass it to, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but Yenny.
Can you hear me? Wait, does this work? Okay. Hi, my name is Yanni. I'm from my preferred pronouns are he, him. I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and I'm in the Winston-Salem cohort. The last song I listened to was Virginia Beach by Drake, and I'm excited for what senior year has to bring. Um, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but I'll pass it to Arian.
Hey guys, my name is Aryan Saha. My pronouns are he/him. My hometown and the current cohort I am in is Winston-Salem. The last song I've listened to is 28 by Dean Lewis and Ruth B, I think, and I'm excited to have fun this senior year. So yeah, is there anybody else that hasn't gone?
I think that was everyone. Anyone else? Okay. Well, thank you all for introducing yourselves.
Fuck.
Thank you all for introducing yourselves. I think it's always great to put information to face, put names to faces always, and then of course getting to learn about what we're excited about. It sounds like with senior year coming up, and like approaching and getting ready to apply, a lot of us are excited about that, and that's really fair and understandable. So we're super duper excited to hear about where you all choose to go to. So just another reminder to let us know if there's anything you need during the process. I know I've heard from a few, but if you have questions about stuff, if you need help with materials, just another reminder that we are more than happy to help with that. But gonna keep us moving. A quick agenda for the day, introductions. We've already done those. We're going to do an overview of the YLab role and expectations. We're going to talk about the importance of communication and facilitation. We'll do an overview of the summits for the year and then September as well. And then we'll have time for like any type of Q&A, action items, or exit ticket. So that will kind of be an overview of how the day is going to go. Of course, if you have questions, feel free to pop them in the chat. We'll also have like a more clear Q&A at the end. I think some of the questions that we're already anticipating are about schedule. So if you have scheduling questions, we can definitely field some of those then when we talk to scheduling about more. But also if it's more specific, so if it's like a specific question about your YLab schedule, you'll want to email us instead. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to go over the mission of the Youth Leadership Executive Board as part of the College Launch for Leadership program. So YLab is a specially selected group of seniors who support College Launch. You're chosen for your commitment, passion, leadership potential that is demonstrated during your time as a Launch Scholar. And then you provide mentoring and support to the current class of Launch Scholars. You actively participate in summits, assist with YPAR projects, and are available to scholars throughout the school year to offer guidance and answer questions. So we created the YLab, YLab group, the Youth Leadership Executive Board, as a way to offer an opportunity for y'all to continue to be involved in College Launch and to continue to be tied in to what we're doing in our communities, and kind of give a rare opportunity to be a mentor to people that are close in age to you, a year younger, as high school seniors, which I don't think is I don't see a lot in a lot of other organizations or places that are where it's very specifically structured to be that way. So that's why this exists. That's why we have you sitting here today on this Zoom. And we're very grateful to have all of you on board and to be contributing to this mission. So what does it mean to be a YLab mentor? So, these are kind of the main tenets of the role. So you're building a trusting relationship, not only with the scholars that you are meeting and that you're meeting with, connecting with throughout the school year, who are going to be, a part of your, that we'll assign you to a YPAR group. But you're building a trusting relationship with us, with the College Launch for Leadership staff. You're sharing your experiences as you are currently applying to colleges. You have that, current insight into what it is like. You are defining goals and expectations for the current launch scholars. So fresh out of your own college launch year, you know exactly what the rhythm of the year looks like. You're helping them stay on track. You're helping them know exactly like what we expect from them as scholars. You're being the leader that you would want to see, learning and refining and honing those leadership skills that you we're also learning this past year as a launch scholar. You're helping to celebrate the current scholars' successes, and we want to celebrate your successes as well as leaders for the scholars. So we want to sorry, excuse me. We want to recognize you for your leadership qualities this school year, and we want that to kind of like trickle down to the scholars as well, if that makes sense. And then like reflection, reflect on your own growth, as you are working with the scholars that you're assigned to, or the scholars that you happen to connect with this coming school year. Be thinking about, how far you've come, what you want their experience to be based on what yours was like, is it, so use your experiences from the past year to help their college launch experience be even better.
So similarly, just want to talk about professionalism as a YLab mentor. I want to provide a reminder that this is a role that everyone interviewed for and selected for. I think that it was a really hard year choosing YLab. All of you were so wonderful, and we did have to make some really hard decisions. So we just really want to remind everyone that some of the expectations are similar to a job. So if you're getting emails or messages from a member of our team, responding to us and letting us know, or if there's an action item, just following up with us, we truly rely on help from YLab for some of our summits. And if we cannot expect how many to have, or who's going to be there, or making sure everyone's like read the roles and responsibilities, we aren't able to run as cleanly and as smoothly as we like to. So just a real reminder that you all are a great help for the year. So to remember to be responsible and professional within that. And then RSVPing for stuff, that's a big deal. If we don't know you're coming, we don't think you're coming. So if you are planning on coming to a summit or an event, please let us know, especially for like food and dietary things, or like if you're riding the bus. We just want to make sure we're clear on numbers, so that way everyone that's there is accounted for and we have a role for them, or we have a spot for them. I think all of those things are really important. So slate invitations, calendar invites, marking yes or no rather than leaving things blank. I'm just remembering to be responsive. And then we're super flexible. I think that we are firm on being professional, but we also understand that like YLab is one of the things you're doing, but it's not the only thing you're doing. So something changes or you can't make it or something comes up, we understand it happens to everyone. It's a part of life, and we want to be able to help and support you, but we cannot help you if we do not know what's going on. So letting us know if something's coming up, if something might change, if you just can't make it, if you have another plan or there's another plan you want to do, letting us know so that way we can go ahead and start to find someone else who can. I think that just thinking about it in the professional field, like no one will ever be upset that you can't make something, but they will be upset if you say you're coming and then you don't show. So thinking about letting us know. And then remembering to be punctual when you can and having a good attitude. It's really hard being a scholar when you first get started. You don't really know anyone. You're getting to know the program. You're getting to meet all these new people. Like there's all these programs and expectations and rules and things, and it's just a lot. And you all know how nerve-wracking it can be and how the first few months are kind of navigating it and getting to know everyone, getting to know your group. So having a positive attitude to help those scholars that are coming in kind of get comfortable and learn what it's like and how they can be is really big and important. So just some of our expectations about professionalism for the year.
Okay, programming expectation. So we do expect our YLab to attend and assist at least 3 out of our 9 Saturday summits. And we do have a schedule that is created for that will kind of help guide, that does give you more of those, the days that you will be attending. We do ask that our YLab does review the summit run of show before arriving to the Saturday summit. It lets you know the plan for the day. It helps you be more prepared for the day. And then also it gives you a chance to prepare questions if there's any clarification you need. We do welcome questions, and it is very okay to have questions if you do have them, because we are here for you all as well. We also expect you all to arrive by the stated time. We usually expect you all to arrive a little bit earlier, just to help set up if there's anything like that, as well as welcoming students. Engage intentionally with the scholars as well as staff. So that can include leading icebreakers, leading small group discussions, participating in panels, and then getting to know the students. So there's a lot that you guys can do during the day, but also you're also there to benefit for yourself as well. So if you have questions for the panelists, please go ahead and ask them. The scholars might have the same question that you might have as well. Like I said earlier, YLab is also expected to help set up and clean up. We are a pretty small team and there's so many of y'all, so helping to set up will just expedite and clean up will help expedite the process and help us all get out as soon as possible so that we can enjoy the rest of our days. And then model expected behavior for students. So like we expect our students to be attentive and listening and all the things. Just we're expecting that from YLab as well. When we need questions, we want you to make sure that you are also listening, or if there's a speaker, making sure that everyone's paying attention, things like that.
So the next thing we want to talk about is YPAR Project Mentorship. I think this year's interviews were really great for us to learn more about how YPAR mentorship went for you all. And the project is always in a little bit of a state of updates. So we're making some updates to the project this year as well. But the piece that I really want to impress upon everyone here is that every YLab member will be assigned a YPAR group. So if you are a YLab, you will get a group, and the expectation will be to stay in communication with that group throughout the year. So that can look like a few different ways, right? You can set up a group chat or a group me to stay connected with them. You're expected to check in with them during Saturday summits when you're working, when you can. So that can be as simple as like saying, hey, like, how's your group doing? Do you all need anything? Maybe if they are the small group you're responsible for leading around during the day, maybe throughout the day you ask them a few more questions. You can ask how the group cohesion is going. I know that's something that we often get feedback about. You can ask if they have any questions about completing an action step. You should definitely ask if they've gone to Google Classroom to view the project materials, just kind of different things where you can help them get set up and feel really comfortable and check in with them. So we're encouraging you to engage with your group as well by share more about your project. So when we typically place mentors, we try to place them either with similar topics or groups that they might be familiar with. So that's how we'll be doing project placement this year. So sharing more about how the process went. I think sharing the good as well as the not so good is always a great thing to start with. So like maybe sharing some of the pain points for your group. So if your group had trouble communicating, maybe mentioning how your project turned out well if it did, but how you wish you and your group had met a little bit more, or how you wish you had gotten over the hurdle of reaching out to them to ask to meet in person or meet over Zoom or FaceTime or like Google Hangout or something a little bit earlier, so you all didn't have to rush towards the end. We really want YPAR and YLab to be something where you all feel a lot more confident following up with groups. This year, we're going to have a deliverable for every month. So every group will be expected to complete one small assignment that will help them move their project along. And as a YLab mentor and a YPAR project mentor, you will be responsible for checking in with your group once a month to make sure that they know that deadline is coming up, and then letting them know that you are there if they have questions, or they can come to us if they have questions. So you're really just encouraged to encourage students on the difficult aspects of the project. And then there will also be more. I think we have 2 slides. Yes, we have 2 slides. So there will be check-in deadlines as well for YLab mentors. So you're expected to check in with your assigned YPAR group by the 25th of every month. This year, we've created a really, really short Google form. It will truly take you like 5 minutes, if that, to complete. And that is how you let us know that you've checked in with your group once a month. So you can check in with them at the summit. You can send them a text message. They can invite you to a meeting if they have one. But it's just a way for us to know that you are checking in with your group and that your group is doing well. So the questions in that check-in form, you'll let us know your name. You'll let us know what group you're working with. You'll let us know what cohort. Then you'll let us know what's going well. And then you'll let us know where they might need some help. And then that'll be the form. And you'll do it once a month from October to May. by the 25th. And we'll remind you and we'll send out the form. And if you're having trouble getting in touch with your group, I know that sometimes you can reach out as much as you can, but if the group isn't responsive, that's not always on you. That's when you'll want to tap us in. We are still a layer of defense for everyone as far as YPAR and communications. If you're having trouble getting in touch with your group, please let us know sooner rather than later. That's not going to get anyone in trouble, but we can't help or solve a problem if we don't know what's going on. So making sure we know as soon as possible is the biggest thing. But the expectation is really still strong for YLab to check in as they can. I think that one of the things that everyone has mentioned at some point in their interview is that they would have loved to hear more from their YLab mentor. So this is a really great way to go ahead and start to set the standard and be the change that you said that you wanted to see. So the expectation is to service that. I think meeting the YLab mentor expectations is really big this year. So just want to impress that. And then if there's any type of interpersonal problems within your assigned group, you all are not responsible for those. We will handle those if you feel like there's just a large issue that's coming up or that you're noticing that needs to be solved or that there needs to be some mediation or conversation between group members. That's our job. So let us know sooner rather than later so we can help you out. And then of course, if you have any questions about this or if you're having any trouble, I always default back to communication and how it's being key. I think that I love hearing from you all more than not. So you are never bothering us too much if you let us know about something. But yeah. Anything else about YPAR, Senior Elizabeth? All right. Let's move it on.
So how to facilitate and communicate when leading an activity. The first thing that you're going to want to do is introduce yourself with enthusiasm. A lot of students will not be as enthusiastic unless the leader is. So always making sure that you let them know who you are first, but also letting them know that you are also excited about what you'll be doing. And then you're going to want to introduce the activity and why we are doing it. So again, going back to the run of show and knowing why we are doing this activity, and the run of show will also have more instructions about it as well. And then also knowing the material and being confident when presenting the activity, making sure that you understand the rules, you understand what the purpose is, making sure you ask questions when you don't know. And then also setting norms, making sure that the norms that we will set at the beginning of the year will continue into each activity that we do throughout the year. Facilitate, making sure that you are not talking the entire time. We want to make sure all the scholars are engaged and that they feel comfortable as well. So we want to make sure that you can still talk, but we also want to make sure that everyone else in the group is talking as well. Again, involving everyone, making sure everyone is talking and making sure everyone feels comfortable. Displaying your body language, making sure that you are enthusiastic, like I said earlier, and knowing that it's okay that you don't know. It's okay not to know exactly what you are doing. That is where we can step in as professional staff to let you know what needs to happen. Asking good questions to us, preferably before the activity starts rather than during it. But yes, knowing that we are here as a resource as well, but also knowing that we have instilled the confidence in you all to facilitate and communicate with our scholars this year. And we also have more common scenarios and responses in the YLab guide that can also guide you along the way as well.
So last year was the first year that we kind of rolled out committees a little bit for YLab, and this is something that we really liked, so we'll be having it again. So in addition to being able to just kind of serve as a general YLab mentor and mentoring a YPAR group. Those are the two main expectations, like attending summits and mentoring your YPAR group. There will be some additional one-off opportunities for students with an interest in doing a little bit more or building some additional skills to help out with some committees this year. And those will have information that come up as they come, but just want to give like a little bit of an overview of what that would look like. We always have a need for social media or photography. Our marketing team is mighty but small. It is just Becca. So having someone that is able to help with photos and social media and reels and TikToks and all of those things is something that we'll always set a few YLET mentors up for the day. And we try to rotate it. So everyone that completed a training availability survey, thank you so much for letting us know your interest and what you wanted to do. We will try to make a point to assign everyone at least one opportunity to take photos or assist with social media throughout the month as we can. The next part is a service project. We do a service project, or we want to do a service project every year around February. And that's going to be another piece where there will be some room for you all to take on some of the lead and planning. We'll provide you with enough details and information on what it would look like and how it would be, but you'll communicate it out to the scholars, you'll get them excited, you'll maybe choose where we donate things to. And we'll go from there. And then we just have a question about cameras. We will have spare cameras. So if you like need a camera or if you need anything for like social media or photography for the day, we will provide all of that for you. So if you did have an interest in like social media or capturing content for the day, you do not have to bring it. We'll have it there for you. And then we'll give you like a quick overview on how to like point and shoot and how to collect photos. Fun fact, a few years ago on our graduation day, we thought we were taking tons and tons of photos. We were not. We ended up with 5 photos from graduation. So we will teach everyone how to use the camera. But we'll have a social media, we'll have a service project. We're always looking for help with recruitment. In January, we'll open our launch application. And I think sometimes one of the best ways to hear about launch is from a friend or a peer and not always from us. So if there's ever an interest in helping recruit launch scholars, we are more than happy to help you all with that. The idea this year is really to encourage you all to speak in your student clubs and groups. So we will be more than happy to coach people on how to share more about launch. We can provide you with materials. If you're close enough and you want one of us to stop by, I'm sure a few of us are willing to drop in when we can. But that would be another opportunity to like help out with recruitment in the springtime. And then the final one is a workshop committee. We really think it would be great for you all to do a really small workshop sometime in the spring, probably about the Common App because you're most familiar with it. So maybe it'll be a panel or something like that. But it will be another opportunity for scholars to get to ask you all questions about the Common App because you've certainly completed it a lot more recently than the rest of us. And I think that students being able to ask you questions about what you put down, what you felt like was helpful, what tools you realized, will be another opportunity. So some other ways to provide some facilitation and lead sessions and take on some more leadership. Again, they're not required, but we do really want you all to get engaged in additional ways. We want to make sure that YLab is not just a thing that's on the resume, but there are some other tools and skills you're picking up along the way. So as these opportunities come up, they will be communicated to you ahead of time. And then we're flexible with scheduling and things like that.
So a year at a glance, we will be following a very similar cadence to what we did last year. So our September summit is coming up very quickly. I believe it's the 20th and the 27th of this month. So it'll be very similar to what we did last year. It'll be an introduction to college launch. And you should be receiving the run of show very, very soon. So you will be getting that information very, very soon. October will be our YPAR introduction as well as a community service. This is one that's a little bit different than last year, but we will be doing a community service opportunity both in Charlotte and in Winston. And we'll also be providing more time to spend on YPAR this day. We will also be introducing YPAR in a separate Zoom, different than the day of. So it will really be focused on community service in the morning, in the afternoon, or early or late morning, we'll be focusing on YPAR projects. November will be more of our civic engagement. We will focus on civic engagement. We might be introducing the college list, but the main focus will be civics. December, financial literacy, it will also be a Zoom. So it will be a very, very light lift for YLab. And then January through April will be the ones where we travel to Wake Forest, or in Charlotte's case, traveling to Wake Forest. We will have our STEM day in January, our Discover Wake Forest day in February. March will be our business day, and April will be our education day. So typically, January through April, we have a lot of volunteers from the Wake Forest side. So that's when we have a little bit less YLab needed, just because, again, with those volunteers that are coming, we will still need YLab for those days with all the other aspects. But that will be very similar to how we had it last year with all the theme days in the second half of the year. And then May is graduation and senior signing like we did last year. We will be combining it again with the scholar graduation and YLab, or just senior class senior signing / celebration. So this is our summit schedule for our YLab this year, and Mackenzie did drop it in the chat so everyone can see it live on the Google Doc. But the way that it will work is that we have a set number that we do typically need for each day, month. So we have assigned you all based on the availability that you shared in that survey. And we do have alternates. So we'll go with October. I think there's like 6 or 7 of y'all there that are assigned, and we would love for all 7 of y'all to come. But if that does not happen, we have assigned alternates, and we will let our alternates know as soon as possible if they can come. And then again, if you know already, like you cannot come, please let us know earlier rather than later, just so that we can communicate with the alternates or communicate with other YLab mentors. And if you do have any questions about your specific schedule, you can email us at the college launch email, and we can help y'all get fixed up. And this is also a very living document. Like there may be changes, there may not be changes, but just so you know, it could change. So make sure you're checking that monthly, and we can also remind you at the beginning of the month.
We'll send out a text or an email at the start of every month to remind you to check your schedule.
Yep. So this is what the schedule will look like for the September Saturday Summit. It will look very similar to how we had the summit last year, with the exception of you all being YLab, so you guys have to arrive a little bit earlier. So YLab arrives around 8 o'clock in the morning. Like we said earlier, we do ask that you do arrive by 8 o'clock. Obviously, traffic is a thing, so and parking is a thing. So making sure that you do leave with enough time, but also making sure that you do arrive as close to 8 o'clock as possible. Between 8 and 8:30, we will have set up and greet scholars. Scholars typically come between 8:30 and 9. And a lot of the YLab duties in the morning will be greeting and helping with parking and registration for the scholars. 9 o'clock is our introduction. So typically we'll have an icebreaker around 9:30, 9:25. So making sure all the students are comfortable when they get into the building and engaging with them as much as you can, and then also encouraging them to do the icebreaker activity. I believe we will be doing human bingo, but still TBD. But we will provide that all the materials you'll need for any icebreakers that we'll do beforehand. We'll have a break at 9:45, and then at 10 o'clock, we'll come back together. We'll introduce lunch, we'll set group norms. One new thing that we'll do this year is we'll have a guest speaker from the Intercultural Center. We had them for the summer immersion training, and they do a great job of letting everyone feel welcome and making everyone feel known, which is something we aligns very well with College Lunch and wanting to make sure that every scholar and anyone that comes into the program feels the same way. 11:45 we'll have lunch, and then at 12:30 we'll be doing another team building exercise with Legos. And then 1 o'clock we'll have our break. We'll have a journal writing session, and then we'll close with an exit ticket, and then you all will help us clean up. I think that's everything for the day, but we'll send a little bit more of a detailed run of show as it gets closer. This is our Remind classroom. So we do have two Remind classrooms for Charlotte and Winston-Salem. So if you are the Charlotte cohort, please, you can do this now. Take out your phones, text us 81010 to the specific cohort. If you're Charlotte, make sure you're doing Charlotte. If you're Winston, make sure you're doing Winston. So we'll leave that up just for a second. And then we will also have a Remind classroom for YLab as well. And we can also send all this information if you don't get to it in our email on Monday with the recording. So YLab will have their own Remind classroom as well, so that we can remind you about dates or making sure to check the schedule, things like that.
Yep, all of this will be sent out in an email as well. So if you grab a quick photo or are unable to join, you'll get the details by Monday.
And we will also be creating a Google Classroom for you all, similar to how you all had it for your cohorts last year. We are actually making one just for YLab, and it will have announcements this Saturday, summit run of shows, YLab guide, YPAR project materials for you all, as well as forms to complete. So all of the resources you will need as a YLab will be in one place in this Google Classroom. And then it will also hold a lot of resources for YPAR as well, just to help our scholars, the current cohort, with any resources you might need right at your fingertips. And Mackenzie did drop the link to that classroom as well, so you can join that there. Just a reminder, school emails do not typically work with Google Classroom for us. So you may need to join using your personal email or just a Gmail, your personal Gmail address.
Okay, so we are kind of nearing the end, so we just want to talk about the final action items before the September summit. So making sure you review the YLab guide if you haven't. It's a really great way to review some of the stuff we've talked about here. You can also always rewatch the recording if you want to hear our wonderful voices a second time. Review the September run of show. Right now, just the Charlotte one is in there, but Charlotte and Winston-Salem will be very similar. It is recommended to really review the run of show like that Tuesday or Wednesday before you're set to come on that Saturday, because that is when it will be at its best. So reviewing the run of show. And then we also have a action item of sending a bio slide, which Sydney will talk about in just a second. And then joining your Remind groups in Google Classroom. So making sure that you are all set up to receive messages. We will be sending out messages to the whole cohort over Remind like we did last year. But anything that we need YLab specific will go through the YLab Remind. And then of course, Google Classroom will be the hub to find any materials or things you need throughout the year. We're gonna just take a quick pause to see if anyone had any questions about any of the details before we get ready to close out for the day. We have an exit ticket and like one more thing, so don't leave just yet.
I have a question about the bio slide. I remember on the email that we got for like the confirmation that we've been accepted, that they asked for a similar thing. Is this bio slide going to be the same as that? Because I remember I sent an email to like the college launch and I got the out of office email as well. But I wanted to know if that was going to be the same thing as what we're about to do with the bio slide.
It's a little different, so we can just flip to that slide and we'll have time for that. So this is me. So the bio slide will go on the Google Classrooms for the scholars. It is just a little way to get to know the YLab before they even show up. So what we just want on your bio slide is obviously your name, your pronouns, your high school, your cohort, your favorite high school class, your favorite Saturday summit, and a fun fact about you. So it's a little different from the one that you did send us, and we did receive those, by the way. August, a lot of our team is out of office. But we did receive all of your bios if you did send them. The ones that you sent us were going on the website, and it is currently on there as well. This one that we're asking everyone to make by the 16th is for the scholars to see and just to meet you and get to know you a little bit better. So this is the example. If you do have any questions, you can definitely email us if you have troubles with that.
I have a quick question.
Hmm?
Would we be making our own slide, or would we just be sending you guys the information for you to put it on the slide?
No, well, yes and no. You guys will be building the slide yourself, so you will need to get the background, all the information on one slide, and then you will send us the slide. And you can do that with Canva, with PowerPoint, with I don't know what other platforms there are to design slides, but you can do it however way you want as long as it's vertical, and we'll put all the slides together.
Thank you.
Or horizontal, sorry.
Any other questions about slides or just YLab in general before we do our final closing announcements?
I just have one question. Like, what do we wear to the summit? Sorry, I don't know if it was covered yet.
Usually like what you were wearing to summits during the year as a scholar will be fine unless we ask you to wear your launch t-shirt. We will ask students to wear their launch t-shirts for the first September one. So that is one announcement that we'll talk about. But if we're doing like business casual like we do for the business day, we'll mention that in the email. But it's usually typical like whatever you would wear to school that's school appropriate. Of course, wanting to bring a layer in case it's cold or anything like that. But there is no like special attire for YLab unless communicated ahead of time. Great question. Okay. Well, if they come up, you all always know where and how to find us, but we're going to close us down. So this is the QR code for the exit ticket. Y'all are very familiar with that by now, so give it a quick scan to complete it. And then Sydney's also going to drop the link in the chat. But just kind of give us some feedback on the training. It should only take 1 quick second. And then it's a reminder to complete the slide, and the example that Sydney posted is in the exit ticket as well, if you need anything. But we want to remind anyone that if they haven't sent a headshot to go on the website, that you still can. And then if you need one taken at the summit, you've already communicated that with Becca, and she will get you set up that day. A reminder to join your Google Classroom and Reminds as well. There are 2 forms in Google Classroom that we need all YLab to complete. We need you to do a medical authorization and then a parental consent, just so that way we have one on file for you for the year. All of those will be in the Google Classroom, so we'll need those from you as well to like fully join YLab. We just want to make sure we have up-to-date details on all of you before we get started. And then we had a question about what to wear, shirts for the September Summit. So if you are signed up and attending the September Summit, the expectation is to wear your launch shirt if you have one. Reach out to us if you have any questions or concerns about that. And then those are the details for the day. Let me see if we have anything else. We just have our origin of things, but we all know that. But yeah, any other questions or anything else anyone needs before we close out?
I don't know if I missed anything, but and I don't know if I'm like supposed to say this like in an email or something, but I don't see my name in the like YLab Google Sheets.
Sydney, can you check that behind the scenes? Are you in the Charlotte tab, Eleanor?
My bad, I missed that. Thank you.
No problem. That's a good question though, because if you aren't familiar with Google Sheets, there's a Winston-Salem tab and a Charlotte tab. If you are not seeing your name, make sure you aren't in Charlotte or Winston and vice versa. And then if you have questions too about schedule assignments, if something's changed or if there's a day, please feel free to give us an email. I know that I've already seen a few come in. I'll get back to you all, if not by today, certainly by Monday. And we can make sure that everyone has a schedule that they feel good about. If you have any other questions or concerns, definitely do let us know. I think YLab is one of my favorite parts of launch. I love getting to know you all more and more throughout the year. So please reach out if you need anything. But that is all we have. So we hope you enjoy the rest of your Saturdays. Let us know if you need anything. We'll also send a follow-up email with any action items that we talked about today to remind you to make sure you're all set up for the year. Thanks, friends.
Thank you.
Thank you.